All right, good deal, man. We are going to start recording here right now. So, what's up, everybody? Thanks for listening. I'm excited today under unfortunate circumstances, of course, with what's going on right now with COVID-19, but I am excited to have Jake Wolf on the phone. Jake is a longtime customer and friend of Schedulefly. We've known him for quite some time and have a lot of respect for what he and his wife Shannon have done at Capitol Club 16 in Raleigh, North Carolina. And this is going to be the first of a series of episodes that we're going to be doing in the coming weeks of just sort of short phone call episodes, finding out, now that most people have kind of had to close their doors, what are chefs and owners doing right now? What's on their minds? What are they thinking about? What are they planning? And kind of what's next. So, Jake, thanks for tipping off this series with us, man. I appreciate it very much.
Well, Will, thank you for having us, and thank you for always being a big supporter of the independent restaurant scene. We appreciate you guys fully, and thanks for having me on today. So, I guess this thing hit us like a freight train about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, and just pretty much vaporized business and any existing funds that were in there, because it's the restaurant industry where we work off of our margins are small, and not every independent restaurant owner is carrying enough money to float their business for weeks or months on end. So there's a lot of things up in the air right now. We're hoping for some good help from the government. The local Raleigh restaurant community has been super supportive, owners and chefs and everything. It's just amazing to be part of such a community. And then the local community too has all been super supportive, trying to help out in ways that they can, whether it's through donations on websites, supporting the curbside service, buying gift cards, all that stuff. Just because, as the independent restaurant owner employs, we've got 23 crew member and, part of the family that help us do this thing day in and day out. And we just have to figure out ways that we can help them and just get this thing to the other side. And, we'll come out of this thing. We'll be a little bumped around and knocked around, and may have a little tweak to the menu, may have a little tweak to the operation, but we plan on doing our best to just, get through this, navigate it somehow, some way. And so each day is kind of like a reset button. What do we do? What next has popped up that we're trying to deal with to make it through this? We the week this thing really hit, schools got canceled, our business dropped in half, and you can't support a restaurant when your business drops in half. So we worked that week out to Sunday brunch, and then closed down Monday and Tuesday, kind of reshuffled the deck and figured out, what are we going to do? Are we going to do curbside service and things like that? We didn't have the online ordering set up in place, and didn't have the to-go boxes and things like that to really make it happen. So we had to close that 2 days and, figure out bringing in crew for that, how many crew to work. We try to shuffle and spread out the hours a little bit. And then we gave it a shot for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then it came time, business was good. A lot of our regulars and supporters came out, and that was amazing to see. They were some of the first ones. I'm seeing their faces right now as I, close my eyes. They're the first ones that came in to support. And that's a huge, that's just like, so heartwarming and just makes you feel like you're really a part of something, part of community. And so we did that for 4 days, and then it became time to, it's like, okay, so what's the next step? It's Monday again, and we've got to order more food. Is there money there? There really isn't money right now to order more food. So we're kind of in this pattern where we've got our bills paid up, the crew's paid up, and now it's just kind of it's a reshuffle again. And so right now we're temporarily suspending service until we really figure out the next step, and applying for some of these bank loans and help that way. But we've got a couple other things, like trying to work this program where we're going to be making some meals for some hospital workers and things like that. And, got some prep food this afternoon I'm going to take down to the local fire department, and then contact the mission that we work with here and see if they need some prepared meals. And then tomorrow's another day.
Man, yeah, it happened so fast, and it seemed like it's like for a couple days, I kind of follow a lot of y'all on Instagram, and I would see, here's what we're doing to keep our place really clean, and then it was, hey, we're closing our doors, but we're doing the curbside, and now it's pretty much everybody's just stopped, or a lot of people have. A couple things, man. First of all, what I find so fascinating about the Raleigh restaurant community is I've been saying this a long time, you've always been a really good, close, supportive community for your peers in the restaurant industry. Your customers are supportive of the independent restaurant scene, and it's certainly that's manifesting itself in a whole new way right now, and it's really neat to see how y'all are just working together, being creative, sharing ideas, supporting the community. And one thing I think is so great about independent restaurant people, and this is not just in Raleigh, this is everywhere, is that y'all are always the first people to think about others, right? So you're thinking about, okay, well, the schools are canceled, and how are the school lunch kids going to get food? What can we do about that? Or you're taking, thinking about the mission you support, or you're taking food down to the firemen. I mean, that's one of the things that we love so much at Schedule Fly about independent restaurants is y'all are always have been and always will be so community focused and mindful and thoughtful about the people you serve, and it's really just you have a lot of leadership, all of you do in that area, and it's very inspiring. Jake, what well, first of all, it looks like I think this thing either passed or it's about to pass. I know they were working late into the night last night in Congress. It'd be really interesting to see what happens with small business and particularly restaurants. I mean, the restaurant industry as an industry collectively is the largest private employer in the country. I mean, it's the largest employer behind the government. The more people work for restaurants, it's like 15 million people. So the upstream and downstream impacts are massive. I mean, it's like $1 trillion when you factor all the money that flows in and out of restaurants, all the suppliers, all the the landlords that you pay. I mean, just the whole thing is like $1 trillion. It's like 4% of GDP. So it's massively important that the government gets involved and helps. I'm curious. I've heard a lot of ideas from a lot of people. What things do you think will help the most for a restaurant like yours? You've got one location. Y'all have been in business. This summer is going to be 10 years, right?
That's right. Yeah, this summer.
What are you looking for?
To celebrate our big 10-year anniversary party, which that's a decade we've been on this corner. I'm looking out across the street right now at the courthouse, and that was a big old pit with a fence around it, and the crane didn't even show up until a year after that. So I mean, that's a high-rise government building that, seems like it's been there forever, but, we saw that get built, and we've got some great neighbors all around us, restaurant-wise, that have, been huge, just like mentally supporting too with this thing. It's just like we wouldn't be able to make the decisions. There's no playbook on how to deal with this and how to take care of the crew, the family, and that's what that was top of the list on, what do we do for the staff? Because, they're the first, they're a part of this thing just as much as we are. And we can't do it without our crew. And so we want to figure out, like, circling back to your question on the, what would happen with any sort of help or what could be, hopefully these loans, we can secure these kind of loans where we can float some payroll and things like that, because man, we want to be able to hire these folks back and get back to business as soon as it's safe and possible. And when you've got a restaurant and people are working with you, it's like, you're working side by side, shoulder to shoulder, and you're the front line. I mean, we're on the front line of this thing, whether it's financially, economically, safety, all that stuff. We're like, we're just out there as much as any other industry, if not more, because of the kind of the volatileness of the restaurant business. How, it can be so, up and down, and but we do it because we love it, and that's the only thing I've ever done, and I don't want to do anything else. And to come here and open up Capital Club and be a part of the community for 10 years, and I want to get on the other side of this thing because I want to be here for 10 more years, and we've got to do what we can right now. That's why this closing down for 2 days last week was crucial for me to hit the reset button, because I got everything kind of cinched up as best as I could, and it wasn't perfect, and I didn't make all the right moves, but I got to a point where I could figure out, like, how do I now set up online ordering, because I'm an old school cook. I'm not very high tech, and so I had some crew, family here that helped us set up a Square site where they could order online, because our POS system is antiquated, and we're about to do all these upgrades, and they were about to drop in March, and all that's pushed back. It's going to happen once we get to the other side of this thing. But we had this temporary setup so you could pay online, and that's huge for us because we're just, we never had anything like that before. And, I couldn't have done it without the Capital Club 16 members that just, were able to take that ball and run with it just to keep this thing going. And that means a lot. It's like you find out, you just see something like this, people band together and do what they can to make it happen. And it all starts, it starts in your home, it starts in your business, your community, and then, then it just, that's how the grassroots movement moves, and that's how you get that's how we've seen a foundation laid here that we just want to continue to grow on and build on, and we've got a lot of plans for this thing in the future.
Well, Jake, one thing about just humanity is that crisis often brings out the best of everybody, and we pull together and we work together. And I think we're seeing a lot of that right now, particularly in your industry, both with owners, trying to do everything they can to help their staff. I mean, a lot of folks laid off people quickly just for the sake of, hey, go, you got to go get unemployment right away. And your customers are ordering online, and everybody wants restaurants to pull through this. We need restaurants. You are the heartbeat of the communities you serve. We believe that at Schedule Fly. That's why we've always, it's all we've ever done is serve for 13 years now, serve independent restaurants. And we believe very much that, the community often, like I said, you're the heartbeat. You're sort of the center of what community is, whether it's in a small little town in, rural Arkansas, or a big, thriving, growing city like Raleigh, or, a place like New York. I mean, you're where people go to celebrate happy occasions, where they go to mourn, where they go to see friends and family, where they go to get, genuine, authentic, warm hospitality, delicious food and drinks, where they know the owner. Your customers know you. They know Shannon. They know your team personally and well. And it's such a critical part of our communities. You can't name a great city. I mean, if you start naming any great city in the country, a great city or town, you start going, well, why is it great? Well, one of the first things you're going to say is all the great restaurants, right? Like it's such a critical piece of the fabric of our country and our economy and our society. So it's wonderful to see what people are doing. It's wonderful to hear your just your positivity about the future, and hope that, we're through government loans and grants and community support and business support too. I mean, what are businesses doing? You know, you've got a lot of, I mean, you have a landlord you have to pay. You have a lot of vendors you're paying. What are you seeing out there? Are people being supportive on that end as well and accommodating?
Well, I mean, as far as the support, I know I've circled back to this again, but the immediate support came from the, you know, just talking to the local restaurant owners here, and you know, then I mean, we definitely have some leaders in our community, and it's just nice to be a part of this, because definitely there are those who've stepped up to really move the ball or the peg as far forward as possible, setting up local sites where people can donate, you know, like the Frankie Lemon Fund is Frankie Lemon Foundation, you know, set up a site where they can help out, where you could donate and help out restaurant workers, and there's some local corporations that have matched or have promised to match the donations, and that's where our crews can go in and put their name in, and you know, hopefully get some assistance there. I mean, there's been a lot of that going on in the community. And as far as on my own level, it's been such a scramble. I mean, my bank has been I've been totally transparent with them, open up with them, and just let them know my situation, and they're just trying to help me get what I need to get for right now. I mean, shoot, I've been here for 10 years, and last year I never thought I'd really be doing this, but I went to the bank and I took out a loan for renovations, upgrades, things like that, and you know, started that relationship then, because I have these ideas that for Capital Club to move forward, and what's it going to take to be here another 10 years, and you have to evolve. You have to think on your feet, and gosh, being a cook all my life, you know, I've really had to figure out ways to think on my feet, you know, whether it's in the kitchen, and then you become a restaurant owner, because things are always happening. You have to have plan A, B, and C. And now we're dealing with plan X, Y, and Z, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, through 10, you know, just trying to figure out so many options, because the plan we had last week is different from the plan we have right now. And you know, that might change. Yeah. And I know I'm kind of getting away from your question, but I mean, I feel like all across the board, there has been support, whether it's vendors, you know, delivery days have changed. You know, I think some delivery minimums have dropped, so you don't have to meet the drop. I've had some really cool vendors that said, you know, I know this is a crazy time for you, and you know, it's just, you know, we're going to get settled up when we get settled up. You know, I mean, I know not everybody can work like that, but you know, it's just the type of thing where any little bit is not too small, and it all helps so much, considering, you know, the margins we have to operate on, and things like that. So yeah, I feel like the support, people feel it, people know what we are, you know, up against. And like you said, though, it's the heartbeat, it's the thermostat, it's the gauge of your community is a big thing to the independent restaurants. You know, it's a big thing for independent restaurants to be able to thrive and survive, because that's the character, the culture. I mean,
amen.
Yeah.
What so your bank's working with you?
Just advising me on like what to do, and just, you know, maybe this is the right way to go, maybe that's the right way to go, and because I don't know anything like that, I'm a cook, you know, and that has learned as I have been here how to run a restaurant, because I didn't know that. I knew how to cook, I think fairly well, and that is how we base this restaurant. It's a run from the kitchen, and then over the years I step out a little bit more and take on other responsibilities, and now it's, you know, the admin part of dealing with the financials is you know, is what is on my plate right now in front of me, and just figuring out the best moves.
Well, look, man, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. I'm thankful, or we're thankful at Schedule Fly that we're able to, tell folks like you, like, hey, man, no billing for the time being until you guys are ready to roll again with that, but we're keeping the site on because we think it's really important. We're real proud right now to have the, a means for customers like y'all to keep your staff engaged and communicate with them. And because I do think that like you said, the mental health part of this is huge. And when you work at a restaurant, you've been laid off and, you can't even go in, nobody can be around each other. So we're all isolated, but having a place hopefully for y'all to stay engaged and dialed in and communicate and feel like you're, at least virtually still together, we think is really important. So it's not something that, we never really thought of Schedulefly as being this tool that's going to help people during a crisis for mental health. But boy, I think that way right now, I'll tell you that.
I agree with that 100%. I mean, it's such a easy way for us to all keep tabs on each other and just to check in. Hey, how's it going? Everybody out there, roll call, something like that, and updates. I mean, because we're having updates. We're having updates with whatever it is. Hey, if y'all want to come down and pick up, some prepared food, you want to come down and, things like that. If there's hours that open up, some deep cleaning, things like that. And at this point, we've done that. We've done the cleaning. Now we're updating on, okay, hopefully this thing will pass with the Senate and whatnot. And the government's going to be able to do something for us that's going to bump up payroll and get people back on payroll until we can really get up and running, and just keep giving people heads up like that, I think is encouraging.
Well,
we're all working forward it,
You guys certainly use that message wall and the email and text tools as much as, man, just use them. That's what they're there for. So, well, look, Jake, I'll let you roll. You got a lot going on. I know before we start recording here, you said you had a good list of 10 or 12 things to knock off today. So I'll let you roll. But, you know where I'm at. You know where we're at. Happy to help anytime, man. And once we get through this, the dust settles, the sky's clear, I will be. I'm going to be on the first train I can get up there to Raleigh, and I'm going to spend a couple of days out there just hanging out with all y'all and enjoying some incredible food that y'all put out. It will never have tasted better. So, but if you need anything, you know where I am, my friend. I really appreciate the time to do this today, and best of luck, man.
Thank you, Will, and thank you for the support on the. Since we've met, you've always been a good supporter, a real supporter of us, and we appreciate that because, that means a lot. And your services with the Schedulefly have been amazing for our business, and it's just like, for just to keep this line open, because you can reach so many people, and it's hopefully a good, we get the message out that. We're all in this together. We know we are,
Yep.
But it's nice to hear other voices, and we appreciate you doing that.
Oh, you bet, man. Yeah. Y'all check out that. You and Shannon jump on this podcast, man, because you're the first, like I said. But I've got like 4 more of these scheduled just today. I think I'm going to do several a day.
Cool.
Just this, man. It's almost like, and people have even said this before about the podcast just prior to all this, as they say, man, it's kind of like therapy because y'all always got your head, you got so much going on. It's nice to know that other people are kind of dealing with the same issues sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So, but look, man, I'll let you roll. Tell Shannon hello,
Okay.
and y'all take care, brother.
Okay.
And anytime you need anything, my friend, you know where I am.
All right. Thanks so much, Will.
See ya.